What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Jimbo Slice Workshop. It's been a while again, I know, I apologize. So moving forward, we're going to work really hard. I'm going to work really hard on bringing YouTube content regularly. The goal is going to be a video a week, maybe more. However, the website is no more. I've decided not to continue with the website. Traffic was kind of low, not a lot of engagement on there, so it's really, I'd rather put the effort towards YouTube. I've missed you guys, so we're going to get back rolling videos out fairly regularly. Also, I'm very active on Instagram. Do a lot of cool stuff on Instagram, small stuff that doesn't make it, a lot of woodworking projects. I've been working with the lathe lately, so a lot of stuff that won't make it to the YouTube channel. YouTube channel is primarily going to be tool reviews and maybe a couple projects in here and there. So focus of today's video is Dewalt's new brushless jigsaw. This is the barrel grip model. They also have a D-handle model. So it's kind of been like, I don't know if you want to say it, the race. They announced one, and then Milwaukee announced one. Milwaukee pumped one out first. Actually, the previous video, I did the Milwaukee jigsaw, and I wasn't too impressed by it. If you want to hear my thoughts, go back over to that video to check out my thoughts on that, as this is not a comparison video, it is a review on this saw, the DCS335b for bare tool. The problem is I haven't seen any kits with this yet, so if you want some statistics, I will put them on the video. The most important one, it has a 1-inch cut depth, so I'm not going to read the box for you guys. However, it does have 4 orbital modes, which are located right here, the on-off switch. It's not ambidextrous. Okay, there's also no light switch. This is to release the blade. It will kind of, not so much eject the blade like some other competition. The variable speed goes up to 7. I think it's like a max of around 3,000 RPMs, 3,200 strokes per minute. So that's speed 7, take you obviously all the way down to 1. So that's down here. The cool thing with this saw, and something that I really appreciate and that I like this saw, it's the ability to get all the controls really with very little hand movement. You can turn it on and off right here. You can access the orbital features, and you could also, if you really want, with your pinky finger, adjust the RPM down here. It's pretty cool. There's not a lot of necessary hand movement on the tool itself. So balance with the battery on here, this is a 5.0, is very, very good. It's not too front heavy and it's not too back heavy. Even if we put a heavier flex volt battery on here, which you may want for extended run times and additional power, it's not going to put too much weight on the back of the tool. As you see, the battery fits really well in this tool. Hardly any battery movement whatsoever. So power-wise, this thing is really powerful. It's a really good brushless tool. In terms of comparison to what's out there, I think it's got a little bit less power than the Milwaukee, but I've never really ran into power issues with that. So I love this tool. It's really, really a good saw. Dewalt really did their homework with this. The ergonomics are just spot on. But there's a downside. Before I hit that, it also has a toolless bevel. So you can go up to 45 degrees for your bevel. Okay? It's very simple to use as well. So let's talk what I don't like about this saw. This, and I'll do a little close-up, this is the anti-splinter guard, and it's just, I'm going to call it janky. It's terrible. It doesn't fit in there very well. It's small. It pops out really easily. It's not very good. They could have did better on that. Number 2, dust collection. Lack thereof. Dewalt does not include any adapters, and as far as I can see, there's really no way to hook up any sort of dust extraction to this saw. For me, that's a downfall because I work in the 4 walls of the shop, well, 3 walls and a door, and I like to have vacuums attached to my tools because I'm breathing in the ambient air of the shop, and I don't necessarily like having all the dust in the air. If you're outside, it's not as big of a deal, but to me, that's an important feature. So because of that, there's no way to connect a dust port, and there's no shroud to cover the front to keep, if you're cutting like plexiglass or metal, to keep that metal from flying. So it does a very good job of projecting the chips away from your cut line, but there's no way to turn that off either. Like its predecessor, it has that metal kind of guide up here to keep your finger away from the blade. So, like I said, it's a really good saw, really powerful, very comfortable to use, good ergonomics, but it lacks in a couple areas. It lacks the excuse me. It lacks the precision of my Bosch jigsaw. And you can get very precise with it. You can get some good intricate scrolls, but again, there's no dust collection, and there's no it has an anti-splinter guard, but it doesn't do the trick. So if I'm going to do some delicate work, I don't recommend this saw. If you're looking for a good, powerful jigsaw and you're in the Dewalt line, definitely pick this up. They also have the D-handle model as well. So price tag on this bad boy, it's $209. If you get the D-handle, it's $179. So you do pay a $40 upgrade for the barrel grip. Kind of pricey. DeWalt has actually raised prices on a lot of their tools, so just keep that in mind. It's 20 volts, so it runs on any of their 20-volt batteries as well as their flex volts. You could even run the slim packs on here. It doesn't really matter. There's no issues with DeWalt batteries. In terms of the quality of the cut, well, that's going to depend on the blade. But if you do check this out, I was doing some scrolling, the non-scrolling blade, of course. But through my cuts, cutting through some oak, I want to say it's an inch, a little less than an inch. It stays pretty true and square. It does a good job of keeping that blade from wandering, so not a whole lot of deflection there. A couple cuts, you can see when I take the square, it wobbles a little bit, but it's better than a lot of other saws on the market, improvement over the previous saw. So again, pretty good job, DeWalt. It's a good tool. I just wish that we had a way to put a vacuum on that, and the splinter guard was better. So other than that, I do like the tool. I like it better than any other cordless jigsaw that I've touched aside from my Bosch 12 volt. But in terms of power, this thing will blow it away. Little 12 volt saw ain't gonna do much. But that saw lacks in a couple areas too, mainly the dust collection on that. Another thing I didn't mention is you cannot turn the LED light off. So if you're cutting from down below, there's no means of covering it, and there's no means of turning that off. So other than that, typical 20 volt XR line tool, ergonomic, good grip, plenty of rubber over molding. Saw does not overheat too much. Never really through extended use got overly hot. Run time's pretty good. Most of my testing with this tool and projects I worked on, I actually ran a flex volt battery. This is their 2060s. So I'll put that on there. That does add some bulk to the tool. And you can see it does pull a little bit towards the back, but once your hand is on there, it'll keep it firm and plant, and balance is not that big of an issue. It stays, now if you were to go to a 9 or a 12, it'll tip it back. But if you're running like a 5, that front stays planted. So that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully we'll see you next week with some new content. If you are interested in the saw, scroll down. I have a link to Acme Tools. They did provide this tool for us to play with. So make sure to click on over to Acme Tools. There's no promos going on right now as far as I know with DeWalt. Let's check right now so I get you some good information. But like I said, base price is $209. Everything is all like OPE right now. Sometimes they have, if you buy a bare tool, you'll get a battery free. Let's see, we have, if you buy 2 or 3, you can get 15% off. So not bad. Not too bad at all. So if you pick this up, and then they got the new router coming out, that just came out. So you get them 2 bad boys, you get 15% off, right? Yep. So that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching. Click like, click subscribe, and get over on Instagram and give me a follow. So thanks for watching, guys.